I guess what I want to know is, how could anybody come up with this idea to create this device that actually does many different things? And what motivated you, like what was the inspiration behind it to create a device that would help you learn, help you remember what you learn, to help you be centered and calm and meditative, and like what happened in your life that made you say this needs to exist in this earth?
I'm just a crystal. I'm given things all my life, like unique inventions that no one has ever seen before, and they just come out of the ethers. But I read a book, a science fiction book, in which the hero had a device that he attached to his head, and he could transmit knowledge into his brain while he slept. And I wanted one of those, and they didn't exist. So I started trying to create one. 6 months later, I had one. And what happens is, in my research, I find out what doesn't work. But that's one more thing that doesn't work, so it's not really a failure.
That's amazing that you read something in a science fiction novel, because isn't there an expression that I don't know, that these kinds of things that come from fantasy and imagination, and then you're able to actually manifest it, that's something that nobody would dream of. I mean, I'm sure there was a time where the telephone and the television, I'm not sure, I know that there was a time when the television and the telephone and many other inventions, if you talk to a human being, it's impossible. And then you say, okay, so what is this new device? Someone imagine something that allows you to just download information and restore it, store it in your memory banks forever. And you were so inspired by that idea that you manifested it.
I'm 13 years old, and it came to me in a flash after 6 months of really hard work. I did actually make a discovery. I discovered a phenomenon, and then I focused on that, and it became the Neurophone. But it was like...
and it was when you were 13?
13, yeah.
And you were, well, you had obviously been, you had been researching physics books, right? Like, or...
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You had been just doing nothing but studying, and you felt like what? Like you weren't learning enough?
Well, I was doing college-level math and electronics and physics and all that when I was 13. So I already had a lot of knowledge just from reading. And I was a ham radio operator, and I built all my own equipment when I was a kid. So I at that point knew how to build circuits, and I kind of came in with the ability to build it. Just you can't explain child prodigies except maybe you know, we came in with it. And but the Neurophone, I wanted one so bad. It's like somebody up there gave it to me.
Gave me
the idea.
And then you were just so motivated. And I remember you telling me a long time ago that the motivation was that you felt like you weren't learning fast enough. Like you were so hungry for knowledge, but it wasn't coming in quickly enough. So then you wanted to invent this device so that you could learn even more.
Exactly. Yeah. So I could speed up everything. And I also wanted to learn while I slept. The idea was that I could put a talking book. Back then they came on records. But put a talking book into a record player and wear that when I slept, and then I'd wake up in the morning with the knowledge.
Like it's going into your unconscious.
Right.
Through this, the information is just downloading, like a computer, which is essentially what the brain is anyway.
It is, but when we sleep at night, our brain cuts off our hearing. So speaker pillows, if you were to put a pillow under your, a speaker under your pillow and play a talking book while you slept, it wouldn't go into your brain. The Neurophone bypasses that and sends it right into your brain. So that was the original idea. And then we discovered that just wearing the Neurophone with the signal increases your ability to hear, to learn through your ears, through your eyes, through everything.
I remember that in high school that like normally I could read a book and read many pages and then all of a sudden realize that I didn't remember anything that I just read. I'd been reading for 20 minutes and nothing was recalled. And then I started using and it could be a novel even, you know, not even something where you're really absorbing new information. And then I would read my textbook in biology or my algebra book, which was really difficult, with the Neurophone, and not only just be able to recall it 5 minutes after I read it, which was already kind of a miracle in my life, but you know, a week later when it was time for the exam and the pressure was on, all of a sudden the information is just pouring through me like effortlessly without having even to recall something. Yeah. And this was just like all of a sudden I felt like you, like I felt like a genius all of a sudden, and it was just amazing that I didn't even have to do anything except for put the electrodes on my forehead and read. That's it.
Well, the Neurophone brings out the genius in all of us.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. I felt like all of a sudden I'm a genius too. I don't know who this guy is who invented this thing, but I just, you know, all of a sudden I'm like him, and I can basically do anything now if I want.
You became a little genius.